Welcome to Pro Tools Expert. My name's Dan Cooper and this is the Universal Audio 6176 tube preamp and 1176N limiting amplifier. So James Ivey has one of these in his studio and he uses it when he tracks drums. More specifically, he uses it on his snare drum. So I thought I'd get a unit in to have a little go for myself. So thanks to our friends at KMR for kindly lending this unit to me for the last few weeks. So let me show you around the face of the unit. So on the left of this unit, we've got the all-tube preamp, the 610. We've got a gain and a level pot. The gain is the input into the tube, and then we've got the level, which is kind of the output. So if you drive the gain and lower the level, you're going to get that nice, crisp, rich kind of tubey sound. But then you can drive the level as well and get some quite saturated, driven audio, which is great. In between the two there, we've got a 15 dB pad. That's for mic signals. At the bottom left, we've got the input selector with different impedance options. So mic, line, even high Z input there as well. And then we've got this rather nice EQ section to the right of that here. High and low shelves with a handful of very usable frequencies and plus minus 9 dB. Moving across now to the right of the unit here, we've got the 1176N. But unlike the original 1176, we haven't got switches for the ratio. Instead, we've got this switchable dial. And we've got a 1-to-1 ratio and a bypass as well. So we can bypass this section altogether, no compression, or you can put it to 1-to-1. You don't really get compression, but you get the sound of the 1176, which is quite nice. So in between the tube pre and the 1176, we've obviously got on-off switch, 48V, and this rather clever little join split feature. Now when it's in split, you can think of this as being two separate units altogether, so you can track through the preamp and you can have the 1176 doing its magic on something like, say, a snare drum, whatever else you want. Or you can put it into join, and then that basically feeds the output of the preamp to the input of the 1176, with the output of the 1176 then going to tape. Now in the back of the unit you'll find the I/O for both the tube pre and the 1176. You'll notice this little input Z switch. And when that's pushed into 600 ohms, you're going to get a slightly darker, more vintage sound from the compressor. And if it's disengaged, it's going to be slightly brighter. Now, to my ears, I don't really hear it, but I'll take your word for it. So you're probably asking, how does this thing sound, Dan? Well, what we're going to do is do some reamping with this. So instead of recording through it, because I'm not in a great environment for recording, we're going to patch this into Pro Tools, and I'm going to run audio into the pre, in join mode, into the compressor, out of the compressor, back into Pro Tools in a nice loop. We're going to try it on some bass and a snare drum and hear how it sounds. Okay, so let's have a go with this on some bass guitar first. Set the metering to pre. Not really going to be looking at the meters, but it's just good housekeeping. Let's increase the input to the tube. Get a bit more guts out of this. Maybe bring the level down a little bit. Let's have a go with the high shelf. Let's keep it here for the minute, 10k. That's nice. Brings the click out. Add a little bit more weight, around about the 200 Hertz mark. Maybe let's dull this down a little bit. Let's just try drive it a little bit more, see what happens. Sounds nice. So it's in joint mode. So this is output to the input of the 1176. And the 1176 is in bypass. So let's engage it. Bring up to ratio of 8. Let's increase the input. And switch this over to comp. Fast attack. Slow release. Bring the output up. Sounds nice. Right, let's try this on some drums, more specifically the snare drum. Okay, similar sort of thing. Let's brighten this around 7k. bit more weight in the bottom end of the snare there. That's nice. Let's get a little bit of compression on this. Slow the attack down a bit. A fast release. Let's poke it with a stick. All buttons in. Whoa. Dial that back a little bit. Nice. Does a great job. So what's my final thoughts on the Universal Audio 6176? Well, I do like it, but I've got a little niggle, and it's to do with this attack dial here. Compared to, let's say, the release and the input and output, it feels a little bit loose. Doesn't really feel like there's much resistance there. The others feel really nice. They feel nice and fluid, but this just sort of feels as though I could blow on it and it would twist. Now, I spoke to James because as I said, James Ivy has one of these in his studio, and he also reported that he has that with his unit, so it's not unique to this particular unit. And he thinks it's to do with obviously the analog gubbins that are in there and the resistance in the coils. And I understand that and I agree with it, but I don't know. It's just something that feels like an oversight. That could have been made to feel a little bit more slick. The rest of this feels really nice. Some of these pots do feel a bit too heavy, if I'm honest. But I suppose if you're using this for tracking, again, someone like James, you're only really going to have it set up for the sound that you want, and all you're going to do is turn it on and start tracking through it. But for reamping, it just doesn't feel as fluid to get settings as other hardware units I've used in the past. Now the sound of this is lovely. It does really give that vintagey feel. The 1176, yeah, it sounds like an 1176 to me. And it's just nice to have it all in one package. This joint split feature here, I mean, this really is the party piece of this unit. The fact that you can use the preamp for tracking, and you can keep your 1176 set to something in the mix, or you can track straight through it. It's great. So how about value for money? Well, this is a couple £100, over £2,000. Yes, that sounds like quite a lot, but if you were to buy an 1176 on its own and maybe a 610 solo, you would be spending closer to £3,000, and the 610 solo doesn't have, correct me if I'm wrong, the EQ section, nor does it have this clever joint split feature, because that's unique to this system. Anyway, I hope you guys got something from this. Thanks again to our friends over at KMR for kindly lending this unit to me. It's been very good to me, but it can't stay, unfortunately. Let us know your thoughts on the Universal Audio 6176 in the comments below. I'm Dan from Pro Tools Expert, and I'll catch you next time.